Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here again with a special edition of the Short Torah Inspiration, sponsored by MEOR DC, MEORDC.com being our website. Why is this a special edition? It's not about the Torah portion, which I usually talk about. The holiday of Shavuos is fast approaching, less than 48 hours away as of this taping. And Shavuos is a very important holiday. It's a holiday I'm afraid that many Jewish people are not so aware of, for interesting reasons. It's a bit ironic, actually, because in a sense of all the Chagim, Shavuos, it could be argued, is the most important. It's the reliving of the day on which we got the Torah. That is to say, the day that God publicly revealed himself, spoke to us, the Jewish people, every Jewish man, woman, and child, spoke to us, spoke the words of the Ten Commandments, and the day after, Moses went up on the mountain, Mount Sinai, to receive the rest of the laws of the Torah. But in that sense, Shavuos could be argued as the most important holiday. The purpose of Pesach, the purpose of the Exodus from Egypt, was to get the Torah at Mount Sinai. We didn't just get out of there and wander around and bump into a big mountain. From the very beginning, the purpose, as God told Moshe at the burning bush, was to go from Egypt, to be released from that bondage, to go and serve Hashem at Mount Sinai by getting the commandments, by getting the Torah. So the very meaning of Pesach is the culmination of Pesach, I should say, occurs on Shavuos. And every other holiday in the Torah is in the Torah. The Torah is that which includes everything else. So the day which is the reliving of the getting of the Torah, it could be argued, is the most important holiday on some level. Now it's interesting, one of the reasons I think it's so underappreciated by many Jewish people, there's no specific, physical, tangible mitzvah object associated with Shavuos. Matzah on Pesach, the sukkah on Sukkot, even if you don't have a sukkah, your synagogue has a sukkah. Shavuos doesn't have a mitzvah object. For an obvious reason, one reason, it is the day of the getting of the Torah, which includes all other individual mitzvah objects. It's the totality. The Torah is the totality of our lives as Jewish people. So you can't reduce it to one single tangible item, hence it's not as appreciated. And there are different customs associated with Shavuos, of course, one of them being staying up all night, the first night of Shavuos, studying Torah. Many synagogues, check one in your area. Most synagogues will have some learning program on Shavuos night, and one idea given is that the Jewish people, our ancestors, went to sleep the night before they were going to receive the Torah, showing some lack on some level of the requisite excitement, anticipation, though we had it, of course, but on some level it was lacking. We rectified that forever afterwards by staying up late or staying up all night studying Torah on Shavuos night. And there are other customs too, but I want to talk a little bit about the meaning of the holiday. The word Shavuot, the simple meaning, as the Torah says, it means weeks, because the Torah describes linking this holiday clearly to Pesach, that on the second day of Pesach, we begin a counting process, counting the days and the weeks leading up to the next holiday, Shavuot. So, interesting, the holiday, one meaning of the name Shavuos is weeks. We designate the holiday by the preparation period, a period of counting the days, really of spiritually preparing to get the Torah. That's one meaning of the word Shavuos, weeks. But another one, and a very beautiful one, Shavua means oath in Hebrew also. So Shavuot mean oaths, plural. What are we talking about? The oath that we made to God to accept his offer to be his holy people, his Goy Kadosh, and the oath that God made to us, never to exchange us for another people, never to abandon us once we made the covenant. So we made our original marriage oaths, the Jewish people and God, at Mount Sinai, and we renew those oaths every single year on Shavuos. And indeed, the rabbis say Shavuos is compared to Kiddushin, Nisuyin, to the second stage of the marriage process, to the full marriage of God and the Jewish people. It's the reliving, therefore, of getting the Torah, but getting the Torah means accepting the covenant. So, here's a basic principle that on every holiday, we don't just commemorate an ancient event, we relive on a spiritual level the very same energy that occurred at that original event, which means we are re-accepting the Torah. This Tuesday night, each one of us on our own level, we are able to renew our marriage vows to God as a people. An incredible thing, an incredible opportunity Shavuos is. And the last point I want to mention is, it's not just about getting the Torah, as important as that is. So it's a night on which we can reflect on that night, on what Torah means to us. Torah is the light of our lives, the light of our eyes. It enlightens our intellect, our mind. It moves our heart. It's kihem chayenu v'orach yamenu. As we say in our prayers, that the mitzvot, the commandments of the Torah, are our very lifeblood, the light of our eyes. So we can appreciate what the Torah does for us and renew that appreciation on Shavuos. But at Mount Sinai, we didn't just hear God speak. We saw an incredible revelation of his oneness. As it says in the book of Deuteronomy, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses says to the Jewish people, Ata hareso lada'as, you were shown at that assembly to know that God is that Hashem is the God of the heavens and the earth. There is nothing beside him. We had a sense of the oneness of God, a clarity of that perception unlike any other time in our history. Well, we can relive that on Tuesday night, a re-strengthening of our faith. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. There's one source of our lives and of all reality, of all the world. That's Hashem. We can, if we open ourselves up to it on Shavuos night, with the help of some Torah study at your local synagogue or wherever, we can open our souls up to gain a greater appreciation of the Torah and a deeper awareness of the oneness of God, the source of our very being. So I wish you a wonderful Shavuos. It's an incredible opportunity, and take advantage of it, and we'll see you hopefully in a few days, all of us at a new spiritual level. Chag Sameach.